Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. This is a Facebook Live and a simultaneous Instagram Live on gratitude. What is gratitude? My definition is gratitude is the rent you pay for living on earth. Gratitude is the rent you pay for living on earth. So pay rent gratefully, because you do live on earth. And some people don't have a good experience, but I want you to have a great experience. And if you're feeling down in the dumps, if the lockdown is bothering you, if things are going bad with your job or your business, then gratitude is the universal cure. I know you might say, how can I be grateful for losing my business or for the president that we have or the lockdown or the fires on the west coast of the United States? Well, that's for you to find out. But if you feel bad about it, your life will be bad. If you can find gratitude, if you can be grateful for something, then your life will just keep improving. And that's what I want to do for you. I want you to have a wonderful life. So, what are you grateful for? I can see that Akosua is back. And for your information, Akosua, something went wrong with my other recording on gratitude that I did that you attended about an hour ago. And so I'm redoing it. But of course, it won't be exactly the same. It'll be completely different. So, what am I grateful for? Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm grateful for, but only until you tell me what you're grateful for, and then I will tell everyone what you're grateful for. So, please listen to me, but more important, post in the comment section what you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my amazing wife. I have such a delicious, sweet, gorgeous, sexy, funny wife. She's kind to me, she's sweet, she looks out for me, she looks up to me. She looks out for me and she looks up to me. It's a wonderful combination. I love my wife. I love our home. Oh my gosh, I have such a wonderful home. I live on a high floor of a luxury condo and I'm right on the shore of Lake Ontario. If you know your Toronto geography at all, you'll know that Toronto sits on the north shore of Lake Ontario. And so my condo overlooks, if I look this way, I see the entire Lake Ontario as if I'm looking at an ocean. The lake is so big you can't see the other side. And if I look this way, because I have a corner unit that's all glass on both sides, I can see the outline of Toronto. The view is spectacular. My wife Karen has made our home so beautiful. So I'm grateful for our home. But something happened. Let me tell you a little story. About a month or so ago, Karen was just fishing through the internet and she happened to see a house and she liked it. And she kept calling me, Raymond. Oh, Oka Sua says, wow, I pray and get a husband that will love me that way. Well, just keep being grateful and you'll get it, sweetie. So she kept saying, come and see this house. So I'd come in to her office and I'd look at it. It was a nice house. She says, why don't we go and see it? I said, why? I'm not buying anything. I love this house. I don't want to think of dying, but I'm happy to die here. It's just like it's so spectacular. The view, it's pretty, it's new, it's beautiful. It's got lots of wall space for our art. And she kept asking and she kept insisting. And so I said, all right, I'll go. So she drove me up there. And when I saw it, I loved it. Like, to my surprise. I was going there just to pacify her, just so that I can say, I did it. You wanted me to go, I went. And when I got there, now, it's a 3-story tall log cabin. And it's got a big screened-in porch for 3 seasons of the year. And right on the porch, there is a hot tub outside. So 4 seasons a year, we can sit in the hot tub, whirlpool, jacuzzi, and have snow coming down on us. And also inside we have a sauna. We have a river on the property. Wow. But it's not perfect the way it is. It's a little bit, it needs some work. So don't get too drooling over it. It needs some work. But it's good. It's beautiful. And my wife will make it even more beautiful. So I'm grateful for our current home, and I'm also grateful for the log cabin that we'll move into. It's about an hour's drive away from Toronto, and I'm looking forward to a whole new life. We'll have whole new neighbors, we'll have farmers who are neighbors, and we'll have a whole new farmers market that we can go to. We'll have a whole new set of restaurants in the neighborhood. Be a new life for me. And I'm grateful for my friendships. I have wonderful friendships who are colleagues of mine, like Dr. John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and Jack Canfield, who wrote all of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books and allowed me to write 2 of them. And so many of my other speaker colleagues. I'm grateful for 100,000 clients around the world, but now it's your turn. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? So the Lizzie T just joined us, and Nali13 just joined us. And Lizzie says, hello. Thank you for saying hello, but I want you to tell me what you're grateful for. And don't say there's nothing to be grateful for. This lockdown is terrible. The lockdown might be terrible, and people might be losing their jobs and losing their businesses. I get it. But some businesses are going up. And if you're grateful, you'll have the greatest chance to do a good job. So, dear Instagrammers and dear Facebookers, tell me what you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my joints, that they work so well. I'm grateful that my hands aren't swollen. Lots of older people have swollen hands and swollen feet, and their joints don't work that well, and they have arthritis. I don't have any of that. And I'm grateful that I'm clever. Now, you might think I'm being a little boastful, but I'm not being boastful. Carol, hi Carol. She's grateful for opportunity. Wow, very sweet, Carol Fleming Kempf. Grateful for opportunity. What a very, very sweet message. Thank you. So I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for the city of Toronto and the city of Mississauga. They made a decision 100 years ago that they will plant trees on any property that the owner wants. And so as a result, I'm on a high floor now, and when I look out, all I see is trees. I mean, it is an urban area. Toronto, Mississauga has got like 4 million people, and yet all I can see from this height is trees. That's so wonderful. And Carol is also grateful. Oh, sorry. Paul said learning how to listen is what he's grateful for. Well, isn't that sweet? And on the Instagram side, Freedman just joined us. That's nice. But it looks like a girl. Freedman Barb. Okay? So Freedman Barb and Lizzie T and Nali13, please tell me what you're grateful for. I would love to know. And also Akosua Sugar, tell me what you're grateful for. Freedman has a double I. That's interesting. I'm grateful that I noticed that strange spelling. So I'm grateful that I just started a podcast. I did. I just launched a podcast. My friends have started their podcast maybe 5 years ago. I never really did it. And I know why. I was too busy. What was I busy doing? I know what it is. I was busy traveling. If somebody in Perth, Australia, and I live in Toronto, Canada, if somebody in Perth, Australia wanted me to give a speech, I would fly there. Why? Because I typically make about $100,000 per speech. So even if it cost me $15,000 to fly business class, and even if it cost me about 30 hours to get there, and even if it cost me maybe 4 days, because I had to get there, stay overnight, recover, then give the speech, then wait for the next time that the flight left, and then fly back, and then spend a day sleeping to recover from the vast time zone changes. So it took me maybe 4 or 5 days. But today, a 90-minute speech in Perth, Australia, takes me 90 minutes. That's it. I could be chatting with my wife, and I can say, oh, my speech starts in 2 minutes. Excuse me, dear. We'll continue our conversation in 90 minutes. I walk over to my room, click on Zoom, talk for 90 minutes, turn it off, go back and talk to her. A 90-minute speech takes 90 minutes. That's unheard of. I've been a professional speaker for 37 years. A 90-minute speech has always taken at least a day, and sometimes 4 or 5 days if it's very far away. And so I'm spending all this time traveling, all this time in airports. Wait till you hear this. I stepped onto an airplane 1.5 times a week for 37 years. I stepped onto an airplane once a week, for 1.5 times a week for 37 years. And so I'm grateful for all that travel, because since I was such a frequent flyer, I would be treated very, very well. They'd have me in their frequent flyer lounge. The super elite concierge for Air Canada would come into the lounge and say, "Mr. Aaron, yes, is there anything I can do for you?" And I felt so proud that I was so well taken care of. But it's kind of a false, not friendship, it's kind of a false sense of importance, because if I stopped flying, they would stop thinking I was important. Mayor Manny is here. Hi, Mayor Manny. The topic is, what are you grateful for? So please tell me what you're grateful for. So I was grateful that I traveled, but now I'm grateful that I'm not traveling. For example, I haven't been more than 20 feet away from my wife for about 6 months, middle of March. So that means middle of April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, I haven't been 20 feet away from my wife for 6 months, and it's been wonderful. Do I miss flying? For the first month I did. And then business started coming in. I'm grateful for your amazing coaching. Thanks, Mayor Manny. So, you changed my thinking, Mayor Manny. I forgot what I was talking about. In the first month or so, I missed travel because I'd been used to it for 37 years. Now I don't want the lockdown to end. I like getting up in the morning, walking about 18 seconds to work, walking anytime I want to my kitchen, anytime I want to my own bathroom, anytime I want walking into my wife's office and kissing her. I'm grateful for that. Now, I'm not saying I'm grateful for the lockdown in the sense that I know that people are dying and getting sick. I'm not grateful for people getting sick or dying. I'm grateful for the lockdown. I didn't say I was grateful for the disease. I'm grateful for the lockdown. By the way, I've been tested and come up pure. You don't have to worry about me. I had to tilt my head back, and they put that annoying swab right into my nose. If you've ever had it done, it's not very pleasant, but only lasts a few seconds. And then they give you a link so you can find out how you did on the web. And within 24 hours, I found out I'm free of COVID-19, and 18 and 17 and 20 and 21. Mayor Manny says, I know, right? I'm grateful that my gym is closed because I got more in shape being out of the gym than being in it. That's right. Why do people pay, whatever it is, $50 a month to go to a gym, when if you live in an apartment building, you can walk up and down the stairs. If you live anywhere, you can go outside and run. What if it gets cold? Well, when I was a runner 35 years ago, I ran in the winter, in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow. I ran. It's a little awkward when you're inside dry and warm looking out, but once you get out, it's wonderful. So I'm grateful, grateful, grateful to my wife, to my home, to my new home in the country, my log cabin in the country. Needs some work, but it's wonderful. I'm grateful for my daughters. I have 2 daughters. They're 20 years apart. My daughters are 19 and 39 years old. I'm grateful that my younger daughter, Emma, is starting her adult life next week. I'm grateful that my younger daughter, Emma, is starting her adult life next week. What do I mean? Well, right now, she's a student, or she was a student. She's graduated from high school. She was a student, and she's living with me, or she lives with her mother, mostly with her mother. And so she doesn't have to make a living to pay a mortgage. She doesn't have to make a living to buy gas or pay for car payments. And so the lockdown doesn't really affect her in any way because she can just study or read or enjoy or take bike rides and go to different parks. But she got a job in Ireland, of all places. My little Toronto daughter got a job in Ireland teaching 3 kids. And so she'll be treated as an adult. She will resonate more with the adults than the kids that she's teaching. And so she'll be an adult and she'll be earning money and she'll be on her own. She'll be 5 time zones and an entire ocean away from her parents. And so my little girl's growing up next week. I'm so proud of her. And my older daughter is 39 and she has her own daughter, and I am close with them. It wasn't always that. We had some troubles, but I'm close with them, and I helped my little granddaughter get an iPhone and to get a Mac computer that she needed for school, and she's very grateful. And so I'm grateful for them. And I need to know what you're grateful for. You've been letting me talk. You have to talk also. I'm grateful that I have 100,000 clients around the world. I'm grateful that my clients love me so much. You know what? I'm not grateful for these headphones because they're not working. They're not working. I'm actually not hearing my voice in the headphones, so what am I wearing them for? Weird. I'll have to get that microphone all set up and working. I'm grateful for my wonderful view. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my mind. Now, don't take me wrong, I'm not boasting, but I have a Mensa IQ. Do you know what Mensa is? Mensa is a club that you can't just join if you want to. You have to qualify. And to qualify, you have to be in the top 2% of IQ in the entire world. The top 2% of IQ in the entire world. And I qualified. I'm a brainy guy. And I'm really creative, and I'm fast thinking, and I'm nimble. I can think of things on the spot. So I'm grateful for that, grateful for my mind. And I'm also grateful for the lockdown. I know it seems strange, but I'm grateful for the lockdown because, you see, I used to spend over a year maybe $100,000, more than that, $150,000 in airfare, and another $50,000 or more, maybe even more, $150,000 in airfare and another $100,000 in bedrooms and Ubers and food while I was traveling. So that's $250,000 a year just in the travel, not anything else, just the travel, just moving my body to an event and back. And now that's gone. And I wondered, before March 15th, when somebody far away like Perth, Australia, said, will you come and give a talk? Instead of saying, sure, I'll be there, no problem, and spending, say, $15,000 on business class airfare and 30 hours of time to get there, why didn't I say, can I show up by Zoom, please? Why didn't I say that? I know why. Because the host would have said, screw you, I'm not interested. I'll get somebody else who's willing to come here. And for $100,000, I didn't mind spending $15,000 on a business class airfare because there was still lots of money left over. But now I can't fly. And so hosts are inviting me at the beginning of their invitation. They say, would you please come by Zoom? They don't ask me if I can come live and then say, okay, I'll take you by Zoom. Now they just start off. I'm holding a virtual summit. Would you like to be our speaker? I never say, where is it? Because it doesn't matter. It's anywhere. I could be in Toronto. The host could be in California. There could be clients in Nigeria watching it. Where doesn't have any meaning any longer. So I'm grateful for nowhere any longer. And you know what else I'm grateful for? This is going to amaze you. I'm grateful for a new antioxidant. Do you know what an antioxidant is? Let me tell you. When you get frightened, you oxidize. When you worry about the future, when someone swears at you or is upset at you or hits you, you get oxidized. And oxidizing is the process of wearing your body down. I know you need oxygen to live, but counterintuitively, it also is the thing that kills you. And I'll give you an example. The worst thing you can do to an apple is cut it in half. I mean, that really hurts an apple. And when you do, you see immediately that the inside is white. But when you come back An hour later, it's brown. Why? Because the apple got injured and it got oxidized. But when you cut it, if you rub lemon on it and come back an hour later, it's still white because the lemon is an antioxidant. The lemon is the good guy. The lemon is the thing that fights the bad guys. I know you need oxygen to live, that you can't live more than a few minutes without oxygen. I get it. But counterintuitively and weirdly, oxygen is also the thing that kills you and slowly decays you. So you go around the sun and you're a year older. But you don't age because you go around the sun. You age because every time you get frightened or worried or hit on the shoulder or someone cuts you off in traffic or you worry about your business or the bank calls you and says something's due and you don't have the money, you oxidize and you slowly die. And it means that your hands swell and your feet swell and your joints don't work well any longer. That's how come you need the need for hip replacements and knee replacements, and you get all the degenerative diseases. That's from the oxidization. But don't worry, your body knows about it, and the body mounts its own army of good guys called antioxidants. But as you get older, the antioxidants aren't as strong any longer. The army of antioxidants isn't as strong any longer. And the bad guys, the free radicals and the oxidizing, start winning, and your body starts decaying. And you've seen people hunched forward. It's that kind of thing. So what most companies do that make an antioxidant, because you need it, everyone, even if you're young, even if you're a teenager, you need it. What most companies do is they look around for the best antioxidant and they find grapeseed extract. And yes, indeed, grapeseed extract is the best antioxidant. But there's one company that did it differently. They studied the 8 most powerful antioxidants and they found that they all worked on different organs in different ways and over different lengths of time. Hi, Paul. I'm talking about gratitude. So at any time, just tell me what you're grateful for, because I'm telling you what I'm grateful for. So there's this one company that decided to use all 8 of the best antioxidants, and it comes in a drink. It's a liquid, and it's amazing. I mean, what can I say? Now, I can tell you that it infuses your body with nutrients. I can tell you that it cleanses and supports all the organs of your body. Your bladder, liver, spleen, heart, lungs, brain, skin. But that's just data. What I'm going to tell you is amazing. I'm going to tell you the effect on me and my clients. This is so shocking. So this is a big gratitude. Please listen carefully to this. 2 weeks after I started drinking this drink and my body got infused with nutrients, I was walking with my wife late at night and I started jogging, like out of the blue. I just kind of left her and started jogging, and she yelled, "What are you doing? What's going on?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just so full of energy that I have to run." And she said, "When's the last time you ran?" And it was 40 years ago. 40 years ago was the last time that I ran. 40 years ago, I'm 75. 40 years ago, I was 35, and I ran a 100-kilometer ultramarathon. For my American friends, that's 62 miles. It took me 12 and a half hours of nonstop running, and I achieved the 100 kilometers, but my left knee swelled up and was injured. I never ran again. And I didn't want that era of my life to end, because I'd run 110 Ks, and I'd run 3 marathons, and so I didn't want it to end, but alas, it was over. And it was over for 40 years, until just 2 weeks into taking this amazing antioxidant drink that has all 8 of the biggest antioxidants in it, I started running. And then I signed up for a 5K run. And then I got better and better at it. And today, this morning, I ran a 5K. This morning, I ran a 5K, and I knew that era of my life was over. And now it's not over. Did I run fast? No. No. Because the last time I ran was 40 pounds ago and 40 years ago. And so, of course, I was faster then. But that's not what I'm talking about. I don't care about my time. I'm talking about the joy and the gratitude of being able to run again. I can see there are notes. What is this drink? Hello, Debbie. The question is, what are you grateful for? So, there's some people asking me, what is that drink? What is it? What is it? How can I get it? Email me. Just email me at help@aaron.com. Help, H-E-L-P, at Aaron, A-A-R-O-N.com. A-A-R-O-N.com. Help@aaron.com. And if you do, include your cell phone number. I will personally call you back. Me, the big guru hotshot, I will personally call you back. Apso, wow. Hello, Apso. My dear, dear clients and friends. They're wonderful. Young, oh my God, the youth is going to be amazing. There's been no youth like the youth coming up today. So email me help@aaron.com, A-A-R-O-N. Include your cell phone number. I will call you wherever you are in the world and tell you with love about this amazing drink. And let me tell you what else. My sister, who's also in her 70s, she bicycles 1 hour every morning. And once she tried a different route, and it turned out to be 2 hours long, and she got back exhausted, and she's never done that route. But I recommended this antioxidant to her, and she started drinking it, and it infused her body with so much nutrients, and it healed and cleansed every organ of her body so much that after only 5 days of drinking this, she did the long route. It did take her 2 hours, and she came back fully refreshed. Wow. Wow. And there's another gentleman I know, he's 76 years old, and he's been on Viagra for 10 years now. And he shared it with me. We were at a couples retreat, and he shared with everyone that he was on Viagra, and he said that his doctor told him that there's 3 stages in a man's sexual life of virility. The first stage is you can perform. The guy can perform. The second stage is the guy can perform only with Viagra. And the third stage is a guy can't perform even with Viagra. So his doctor said to him, okay, you've entered the second stage. You're 66 years old. That was 10 years ago. And he said, fine. He got a prescription and he took it. And he did indeed need Viagra. And he needed his half-hour notice before he was intimate with his wife. 1 month after starting to use this amazing antioxidant drink that infuses all your body with nutrients, he threw away his Viagra and has not needed it. Now, this antioxidant drink isn't for men's sexual organs, and it's not for people to run again. What it is it infuses your body with nutrients. It revitalizes your organs. You think you're growing old. It's not true. You're not growing old. It's rather that the oxidization and the free radicals are tearing away at your organs, and so you can't do things that you used to do before. People tell me that they needed a nap in the middle of the afternoon. People tell me that they used to have a snack to build up their energy in the middle of the afternoon. People tell me that they can't last past 9:30 at night, even though they used to go to bed at midnight before. And then they tell me when they take this nutritional supplement, they can stay up to midnight, they don't need a nap, they don't have a snack in the middle of the afternoon. The success stories that I've heard are just the most startling things I've ever heard. And that's why I'm so, so happy with my life. I'm totally grateful that my life is back to my youth. Like it's as if I'm 40 years younger because I haven't run for 40 years. And so if you want to know about that drink that I'm so grateful for, then just email help@aaron.com and Give me your cell phone number and I will personally phone you back. The other thing I'm grateful for is my podcast. Just type in yes if you know about my podcast or if you've ever listened to anything. Type in yes either on Instagram, which I'm doing now, or Facebook, which I'm doing now. Just type in a yes so I can see if any of you know about it. I don't see any yeses yet. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Nobody knows about my brand new little podcast. Well, it's only 3 weeks old. It's only 3 weeks old, but it's had almost 500 downloads so far in only 3 weeks. That's pretty good, I think. Type in yes if you've heard about my podcast. Not a single yes. Oh my gosh. So my podcast is called, it's got a very exciting name, Re-Spark Your Life. Re-Spark Your Life. What an exciting name. And it's the podcast to ignite the fire to live life on your terms. The podcast to ignite the fire to live life on your terms. Doesn't that sound exciting? So far there's not a single yes on Instagram and not a single yes on Facebook. Oh, Debbie says, I'm grateful for my family and the ability to see opportunities and the ability to be patient. Oh, isn't that nice, Debbie? Well done. So nobody has ever heard of my podcast. Oh my gosh. So it's called Re-Spark Your Life, and it's the podcast to ignite the fire to live life on your terms. Every Monday, there's a 1-hour interview with a world-famous multimillionaire celebrity. I know hundreds of multimillionaire world-famous celebrities, and so I interview them every Monday, and I broadcast it every Monday. It's 1 hour long. And on Thursdays, I tell you about a private incident in my life that you'd never know about. An incident in which I had great success, an incident in which I failed, an incident in which I was sure I was going to fail, but then I succeeded, an incident in which I was sure I was going to succeed and at the last minute I failed. But all of them are incidents in which I learned a lesson. And you're going to be able to learn a lesson also. And I love it. I love doing it. And when my wife and I are talking, or if I'm watching a movie, or if we're chatting with a friend, and the friend says something interesting, or there's something interesting that happens in a movie, my wife will turn to me and say, you can make a podcast over that? And I was thinking of that. So when things happen in your life, you just say, oh, that's nice. But when things happen in my life, I think about making a podcast. At least in the last 3 weeks, my podcast is only 3 weeks old. And I would like you to enjoy them. So there's 2 ways to enjoy my podcast. One is, if you're an experienced podcaster, I don't mean that you have a podcast, I mean you listen to other people's. If you're experienced in listening to other people's podcasts, then just go to whatever podcast platform you're familiar with. It could be Google Podcast, it could be Apple Podcast, it could be Stitcher, or it could be, what is that other one? Stitcher. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten. Hold on, I can look it up. Spotify. So if you like to use Spotify or Stitcher or Google Podcast or Apple Podcast, just go there. And then just search for Raymond Aaron or search for Re-Spark Your Life. Search for Raymond Aaron or search for Re-Spark Your Life and it'll show up. But there's another way, and I'm going to do that right now. I'll give you a shortcut. Here is the shortcut. You just go to aaron.com/respark. Yeah, aaron.com/respark. So I have just typed it in to the chat of Facebook, and now I'm going to type it into the chat of Instagram. Come on. Paste, post, paste and post. There you go. The paste and post. There you go. So you can see the most recent entry in Facebook is aaron.com/respark, and the most recent post in Instagram is aaron.com/respark. No hyphen, just aaron.com/respark. So why don't you actually click on that and join it? Please join it. I really want you to join it. If you like me, if you know me, if you follow me, then please join me and download some episodes. On Mondays, it's 1 hour long, and it's an interview with a world famous multimillionaire celebrity. And on Thursdays, it's about 15 minutes, and it's an incident from my own life that teaches a gigantic lesson, usually a spiritual lesson. There'll be a moral to it. They're really nice. So, Raisa and Ali, you better download it. I'll be watching you. I love you. Debbie, Carol, and who else? And the other Carol, and Aladia Zem, and Apso, and Paul, and MWEN's M. Wenzel, and Mayor Manny, and Nally 13, and the Lizzie T Show, and Akko Swa Sugar Bee. I want you to join my podcast. It's free. If you've never listened to a podcast before, then try it. So if you know about podcasting, go to your favorite podcast platform. Could be Spotify or Stitcher or Google Podcast or Apple Podcast. Just go there and search under Raymond Aaron or search under Respark Your Life. And if you're not familiar with it, just use the shortcut and go to aaron.com/respark. And when you do, you'll automatically be at Apple Podcast, and you just click on it and you're a subscriber. And I'll love you forever. It's only 3 weeks old and I've got 500 downloads already. I don't know if that's good, but I hope it's good. Oh, Karen, would you like to say something? Yeah, you don't have to come on camera. My wife's in her pajamas already. Don't come on camera, just talk.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. Is there something you'd like to say about the amazing antioxidant drink or about my podcast? What would you like to say?
Let me see. What I love, this is all in recent months since let's say COVID. Our life is completely changed in a way. Raymond restarted in my mind, he restarted his life. So he's got this Respark Your Life podcast. And
yeah, the antioxidant drink is brand new, and the podcast is brand new.
Yeah, and it's like you know your clients more, you know.
Andy Pratsinger says, blessings, enjoy. Oh, wow, okay, thank you. And Andy said that he's grateful for everything. Well, you need to be more specific than that for me. So you like that you and I have resparked our life? And you like that I'm drinking this amazing supplement?
Well, what I like...
I'm more virile for my wife. Speak up.
You're
so
the only person that I know that can just restart your life and let you take on something and you learn the technology and you don't just talk about it, you end up doing it. And then you started like learning about new products, and not only do you... Like, I guess don't put me on camera.
I'm not.
When he starts something, he goes all the way into it. So it's not like, I don't know how to say it, other than you go all the way into it. Like everything in the house is exactly using the products that he likes. It's just a full commitment on every level.
Yeah, I play flat out full tilt boogie.
Yeah, and I get to live with that person.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not like hectic. I'm calm, but yet I play flat out. If I join a network marketing company, I play flat out and I race right to the top all the time. When I do a podcast, people say to me, "Oh, Raymond, you do an interview every Monday. Can you interview me?" And you know what I did? I pre-recorded 81 one-hour interviews before I launched my podcast. 81. What an overachiever. Holy mackerel. 81 one-hour interviews. I pre-recorded before I launched Respark Your Life. What a goofball I am. Like, you'd think I would have recorded one and then launched it, but not me.
And when we're going for a walk, he'll say, "Oh, that would make a great podcast," and then he goes off and makes a podcast. So it's
I told them about that.
Yeah.
So you're confirming that that's true. Like,
Yeah.
we'll be talking or we're watching a movie, and somebody will say something that'll be interesting, and Karen will say,
I just know he's he's in his mind, he's thinking of his new podcast.
right. So if I go silent, she'll say, "Are you making a new podcast in your mind?"
It used to be when he's writing a speech, and now we've got podcasts, so
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'll let you get
Okay.
back to whatever you're...
Thank you, sweetie.
See you later.
I'm in the middle of a simultaneous Instagram Live / Facebook Live.
That was a little bit of juice for your throat.
Thank you, sweetie. And Nathan says that Nathan is grateful for my Karen. Oh yeah, because she said something interesting. That's nice. You know Nathan?
I do.
With the sexy shoes? Nathan's brand is he wears sexy shoes like snake.
Snow removal?
Yeah, he wears snake skin shoes. He's known for it. And he's grateful for Karen. Well, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? I'm grateful for Karen too. So Nathan and I are together on that. So I'm grateful for my podcast. It doesn't cost anything. So go join my podcast. Either go to your favorite platform, Spotify or Stitcher or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast, and just search under Respark Your Life or Raymond Aaron, and you'll find it. Or if you don't know anything about it and you've never downloaded anything, then just go to aaron.com/respark, and it'll send you right to Apple Podcast, and it'll send you right to mine, and you just click subscribe. And then you'll listen to an interview on Monday, an hour long, and you'll listen to an incident from my life that'll really amaze you. And if you want to find out about that amazing antioxidant, just email me, help@aaron.com with your cell phone number, and I will personally call you back. That's my commitment. I will personally call you back. Why? Because I want to spread the joy. Spread the joy. And I told you about my wonderful home that I'll be leaving soon and going to a log cabin. The bones are there, but it needs some fix up. So we're going to be in the country, not camping. We're not going to be camping, but it needs some work. But Karen loves doing that work. So I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. I'm grateful that I'm so smart, that I can come up with lots of ideas. I'm grateful that I don't have to travel. I'm grateful that I'm a Canadian. I'm grateful that I'm a Canadian. Canada's relatively gun-free and relatively prejudice-free. It's a wonderful country. It's relatively litter-free. It's a really nice, sweet country. Unfortunately, the Canadian dollar has fallen a lot, so it's tougher for me to buy items from Japan or United States or Europe. But it also encourages tourism from all the other countries in the world to come to Canada because our loonie is so low. Do you know why it's called a loonie? First of all, have you heard that the Canadian dollar is called a loonie? But do you know why? It's an amazing story, and it's really embarrassing. It's probably Canada's most embarrassing story. So a long time ago, it could be 20, 30 years ago, I don't remember exactly, Canada decided to get rid of its dollar bill. I think that England has gotten rid of its pound bill, but the United States still has a dollar bill. But Canada got rid of it decades ago. And they had an international contest, and the winner would have his design on the front and back of the new Canadian dollar coin. It was a big contest, and the winner was announced with big fanfare, and the Royal Canadian Mint made the image, the mold in Ottawa that all of the coins were going to be made from. And then unbelievably, the stupidity is so gigantic. The Canadian government, the capital of Canada is Ottawa in Ontario, but the mint is in Winnipeg, 2 time zones away. And 1 time zone away. 1, 2, yeah, I don't know. Winnipeg. And You wouldn't believe it. They mailed the mold that they're going to make all the Canadian dollar coins from. They mailed it in the ordinary mail. Like, excuse me, can I buy a postage stamp? And like, they just mailed it. No tracking number, nothing. They just put it in the mail. And it was stolen. So they couldn't use it. But they had a launch date. And so with like minutes to go, they had some Canadian artist draw some picture, and he drew a picture of a Canadian loon. Well, a loon is a very, very beautiful bird. It's very, very beautiful. And so he drew a beautiful picture of a loon, and they quickly made a mold of that and implemented that. Of course, the winner of the contest sued the Canadian government because they promised that his image would be on the Canadian coin, but it wasn't. And so the Canadian coin with an image of a loon on it, by mistake, got to be called, of course, the loonie. And so we have the unfortunate blemish that mistake will live with us forever. We then we got rid of our $2 bill, and we have a $2 coin, and the mistake lives on because we've called the $2 coin the toonie to keep reminding us about that silly mistake. Anyways, oh, my wife brought a drink. Now I know why. Wow. Very nice. Oh, wow. So even though it's embarrassing, it's a great story. Am I grateful? Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that story. So tell me, what are you grateful for? Vladimir says, hi, it's great to see you again. So Vladimir is grateful for me. That's very nice. So what are you grateful for? Frank Corbin is here. What are you grateful for, Frank? Andy, what are you grateful for? Ali, Raisa, Al-Diazam. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. What are you grateful for? Paul M. Wenzel, what are you grateful for? Mayor Manny. What are you grateful for? This is a Facebook Live and an Instagram Live on what are you grateful for? So tell me what you're grateful for, and if you want to join my podcast, just go to your favorite platform, Spotify or Stitcher or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast, and just search for Raymond Aaron or search for Respark Your Life. And if you don't have a particular favorite platform, then just type into the search bar aaron.com/respark. aaron.com/respark, and you'll find it. And if you want to know about that amazing supplement that I take that infuses my body with goodness and regenerates all my organs and cleanses and purifies all my organs so that men can perform again as if they were youngsters, and people can run again, and they can stay up later, they don't get tired, they wake up refreshed. I mean, the stories are amazing. It's also filled with beta carotene, which means it helps your eyesight. It helps your skin. It helps, because the skin is just an organ of your body, like the heart or lungs. It helps every organ. And if you're interested in that, email help@aaron.com. help@aaron.com, AARON, and include your phone number, and I will personally call you from wherever you are in the world. So, what else do you want me to say? Is there something you want me to talk about? Then either on Instagram or on Facebook, just tell me what you want me to talk about, something that I'm grateful for. M. Zanita, hello, and Frank, hello. This is a talk on gratitude. If there's anything you're grateful for, just tell me. And if there's something you want me to talk about, just tell me. Nobody wants to talk. No. Oh, Vladimir. Hi, Raymond. Just wanted to ask if it's possible for you to dedicate a video or live stream how to relieve stress some parents are facing due to COVID-19 restrictions and life change for kids being home. Yeah, Vladimir, I know the answer to that, but I prefer not to do it live. So if you email help@aaron.com, here, I'll type it in for you, Vlad. help@aaron.com. Just email help@aaron.com and say, how do I relieve stress during COVID? Then I will personally phone you and explain it to you. That's a good question. Thanks. Okay, so I think that's it. I love you. I'm grateful for 100,000 clients around the world. I'm grateful for my rejuvenated body from this nutritional supplement. I'm grateful that I've launched a podcast. I'm grateful that my wife looks up to me because I'm rejuvenated in my youthfulness. And I'm grateful that I can run again. I'm grateful for my current home, and I'm grateful for my new home. I'm grateful for the love that so many people have for me, for the wonderful colleagues that I have around the world, my wonderful clients around the world. And I'm grateful for you. Thank you for listening. If you want more information, help@aaron.com, and just tell me what you want. I'll either email you back, but if it's about the nutritional supplement, I will phone you back, because that one I love. Okay, oh my gosh, it's been almost an hour. I had no idea. Oh my gosh. Okay, bye. Bye.